if I were to tell you that our Earth is warming up more and more each day? Our oceans are rising, our glaciers are melting, our forests are burning, and up to 1 million species are becoming extinct. Global warming is the long-term rise in the average temperature of the Earth's climate system. And although many people to this day do not believe in global warming, it has proven to be more and more of a problem each day. Today I will be talking about the causes, effects, and how to prevent, or some tips on how to help prevent any further global warming. Moving on to causes. So, most climate scientists agree the main cause is the greenhouse effect. What is the greenhouse effect? The greenhouse effect is when the atmosphere traps all the heat radiating from Earth towards space into the atmosphere. So it's when methane, carbon dioxide, soot, and other pollutants we release into the atmosphere act like a blanket, trapping in all that heat and producing it back into the Earth. Human activities also contribute to global warming. The burning of fossil fuels, coal, and oil increase the carbon dioxide in the air. It also increases the concentration of the atmospheric CO2, which happens because the coal or oil in the burning process combines carbon with oxygen in the air. This then creates the CO2. Clearing of land for agriculture, industry, and other human activities has also increased the concentration of greenhouse gases. So, what greenhouse gases are causing global warming? Water vapor, carbon dioxide, nitrous oxide, methane, and chlorofluorocarbons are a big impact. Water vapor is the most abundant greenhouse gas we see. Carbon dioxide is a minor but important component of the atmosphere. Methane is a hydrocarbon gas produced both through natural sources and human activities. Nitrous oxide is a powerful greenhouse gas produced by soil cultivation practices. Chlorofluorocarbons is a synthetic compound entirely made of industrial origin and used in a number of applications. So, now that we've talked about the causes, let's move into effects. Even though we may not realize it here in our safe little bubble we call our Earth, we call home, our Earth is in fact slowly dying. The planet is warming up from North to South Pole, and since 1906, the global average surface temperature has increased by more than 1.6 degrees. The heat is melting glaciers and sea ice. It is shifting precipitation patterns and forcing animals to move in some areas. Some animals, such as butterflies and foxes, are being forced to migrate from their homes that were once in the south into the north. These north areas are higher and cooler and provide cooler areas. It is not only the rising temperature, but also extreme weather events we are seeing. Extreme weather events would include the penguins in the North Pole, the Adelie penguins, that are facing major problems due to the melting glaciers. Shifting wildlife populations and habitats are also a problem we are seeing. Rising seas, melting ice due to the high temperature changes are emerging, and humans continue to add heat by trapping greenhouse gases to the atmosphere. So, when the Earth warms too much, a consequence of changing the natural atmospheric greenhouse are difficult to predict, but certain effects seem likely. On average, Earth will become warmer. Some regions may welcome warmer temperatures, but others may not. Warmer conditions will probably lead to more evaporation and precipitation overall. Individual regions will vary. Some regions may may become wetter, and some may become drier. Meanwhile, the crops. Some crops may respond positively to the increased atmospheric CO2, growing more and using water more efficiently. Moving on to how you can do your part to contribute. The National Climate Assessment says human influences are the #1 cause of global warming. By burning fossil fuels, we are only producing more carbon pollution that is going into the air. There are many ways to do your part, but we need to act now. It is not enough to act, we need to act soon. Delayed efforts to mitigate either carbon dioxide or short-lived climate pollutant emissions will have negative and potentially irreversible consequences for global warming, rising sea levels, agricultural yields, and public health. If fast and widespread action is taken now to reduce these pollutants, it is likely we could cut methane emissions by 25%, black carbon by 75%, and possibly eliminate high global warming potential hydrofluorocarbons altogether in the next 25 years. So, what are some ways to help? There are many ways to do your part, but 2 ways I listed are: the first one is driving less. Cars emit about 25 pounds of CO2, carbon dioxide, and other global warming gases for every gallon per year. Another way would be to stop using so much plastic. Avoiding products with packaging can save up to 1,200 pounds of CO2 and if you reduce your garbage by just 10%. To conclude what we talked about, there are many things that contribute to global warming. But the main thing is the greenhouse effect. There are many effects to this and many bad things that may happen and will continue to happen if the earth continues to warm up as rapidly as it is. The time to act is now. There are many things we can do to help in limiting the amount of CO2 produced each day. As listed, I listed some few, but there are still many things you can do to help contribute or help stop global warming. If not today, then remember to always try your best in helping the earth and preventing any further damage than we already have. Global warming is already such a big problem we see today, and any help could help prevent this.
Time for questions?
Questions.
So you said one of the ways we can stop the pollution is to avoid plastics, right? So what's a way we could do that?
A way you could help reduce plastic is by leaning towards products that have either paper or metal. There are many products such as like shampoo and pencil bags that lean towards materials such as metal and paper instead of plastic, which damages our planet.
All right, and then you said the local like flora and fauna are kind of affected by it. So is our local animals being affected by global warming?
Not that I know of. I haven't heard of any local animals in our region being affected by global warming, but I have heard of the polar bears being affected up in the North Pole. They are facing a dramatic change due to the glaciers that are melting because of global warming.
Let me think. Oh, so cars cause a lot of the pollution. So what are ways that we can like alter things that we can do to using cars?
So I feel like there are many things that you could do besides using a car. The number one option probably being either walking or biking or public transportation. Here in our area you can't find that many public transportation, but there are some. So if it's somewhere close, you could always bike. If it's really close, you could walk. And public transportation is always an option, as much as you can do to just reduce the use of your personal car. Carpooling would also be a good idea.